What is up, YouTube? Bringing to you another DIY, another adventure. I don't know which way I'm gonna go with this. I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like, what I want to accomplish, but at the end of the day, you never know what's gonna happen. So today we're gonna make a lighting system for the shadow box that we created in the previous video with the arm sticking out here. And the way I'm gonna create that is utilizing these connectors, quick disconnect for taking it off, on and off from your power source, and then use some wire. I'm not sure how much we're gonna need. This is just what I had. I have some more of this, so we may use some of that. 2 toggle switches. And the reason for these toggle switches is because I got 2 different lighting sources, and so what I want to do is go with this bright white lighting and also this warm white lighting, so that way I have a little bit of each and I could toggle back and forth or utilize them both. I may eliminate these toggle switches and just go with a remote, but I'm gonna see which direction I want to go after I get into it and kind of start tying everything in. So we'll see what happens. And then a piece of Kydex, so that way we could glue. So this has adhesive on the backside, but we may use some hot glue to hold it on the backside of this Kydex. And what I want to use this Kydex for is cut it in half and then run the lighting on this side and this side of the shadow box. So what this is basically going to do is hang over like that, and then the same thing on this side, hang over like that. So cut this in half. You're going to have about, I want to say 6 inches, and then it'll run the length of this. I'll make some slots so that way this could just slide into this foam board, so that way it's easily removed, and you could tuck everything together and fold this down just like I demonstrated that this thing collapses in the last video, so that way everything kind of sits in here as this thing folds away, and you could kind of stow it away easier that way, instead of having these things just popping out everywhere. So let's get to it, see what happens, and see where this goes, because we may even add it to the side here, so it may even come off the side here like something like this, and shine in this way, and then cut the sliver a little bit thinner, maybe about that thick, and then add the 2 lighting sources. So have this bright white, and then 1 ambient regular warm lighting, white light, ambient warm lighting. And then if you want to know which is your white light, it's a lot bigger diode compared to the warm light. So look at the warm light, the little diodes are smaller, and when comparing the 2, you could definitely tell which one's the white light and which one is the warm light. So let's get into it and see what happens. So it's currently 9 o'clock on a work day, but we're gonna see if we could get this finished and actually get something working. This idea just kind of popped into my head randomly because I knew I needed a lighting source. I did not like what I was using before, which was a light about that big. It was battery operated. It's made for diving with your GoPro, and it wasn't enough light. As you could tell in my videos that I posted using this, it's just not enough light. So I mean, it is what it is. The information on my videos are out there, so I mean, it's whatever you want to take from them. But I mean, let's see if we can make them better and get some lighting, better lighting up there at least. So 9 o'clock, and we're gonna see if we can finish this. So first of all, we want to start with measuring the distance that we need. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And the reason for cutting it in half is because you could always cut it down from there. So utilize most of your materials, and you know you're not going to cut it to 3 inches because you're going to probably need a 1-inch tab. That would leave you 2 inches. So I mean, if you want to fit 1 strip or 2 strips on there, then you'll have enough room. But if you're going to fit multiple strips to give you the most lighting, then you want to of course adjust that. But that's one of the reasons why I think I'm going to go with a remote, so that way I could kind of dim the lighting. So add more lights and then dim it, instead of going with those these on and off switches. But we'll see what happens.
Taking are killing your soul. Baby, you gotta let go. The drugs that you're taking are killing your soul. Body is morphing, distorting, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's so black and blue, how I'm drawing to you, magnetic. I just don't get it, I don't get it. It's so black and blue how I'm drawn into you, magnetic, you're magnetic.
Okay, so once you cut all the strips to length and solder them, you want to hot glue it onto your board like this one is. And once you get all that, you want to cut a piece of wire, depending on the length you want, to jumper in between the 2 panels. And then you want to lay it out like this and group all the negatives together, and then group all the positive wires together, and then solder it on a lead like this. If you want to turn these on separately, you're gonna need 2 sets of wires, so 2 black and 2 red. So you're gonna need something like this, which is what I'm gonna do. And then that way you could turn on your warm lights and your bright white lights separately or independently. Alright guys, so this is a finished product. What I end up doing is I had 2 switches. One's tied into the warm light, one's tied into the white light. And what it actually does is I have this power source here from 110 to 12 volts. and it goes into this connector, which I soldered the ends of the wires on, and then I screwed them into each one of the sides. It'll say positive and negative, so it'll say positive and negative on the actual connector. This is the male end. The one I used is the female because I have a male end right here. So you plug that in, and once you plug that in, it feeds 2 positive wires and 2 negative wires, and those are split into 2 different switches. So I have power coming in, and power going out, and power going out. So warm and white light is being fed at all times. So that way all I have to do is flip these switches to determine what I want to get. So if I want warm light, I could flip the warm light switch, or if I want the white light, I could flip the white light switch. If I want a mixture of both, I flip them both and I get both lights to light up. And then of course I just hot glued the back side of them. So, and the reason why I hot glued it instead of putting Velcro or whatever is because this surface is real slick on this plastic, so it's hard to get things to stick to here. So I just made sure each the terminals that were negative and positive, they were hot glued together, and then I drenched hot glue around it to hold it down. So then you flip it over and you greet it with 2 panels. So when you flip on one of the switches, you'll get the white light. So as you can see, you get a strip of white light, This white light here is not on, only because one of the terminals broke after I soldered it. So I do recommend softer and thicker AUG wire, so that way you don't have a brittle connection when you put heat to it and solder it, and it doesn't break as easily when bending it around your plastic board. So turn that off, and then now for the next one, turn that one on, and now you get the warm light on your panel. All of these work, so I got 3 strips on each panel, and then you could turn them both on, and then you get both warm and white light at the same time. So as you can see, I have a panel mounted right here where those slots we cut. One of the tabs sticks on the back side, 2 of them up front, and it projects the light down. And then this one could go in the center, or you could put it on the opposite side, which is what I'm going to do and come down. I just want to show you what the panel looks like up close. So that's what the panel looks like. And then you could turn that one off and turn on the other light, and then you have the other LEDs on, and that'll give you a warm glow. So whatever you're reviewing will dictate which lighting you're going to want to use. So same thing with this panel. I'm going to probably heat it up, put it in the vise, heat it up, and bend it at an angle, so that way the light hangs out like this and projects downward. So it'll project down over whatever you're reviewing. And then again, this is what they all look like when they're all on. So, and then I'll turn off the light real quick and then show you how much light output they put. So once again, another DIY successful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I'm always doing different DIYs like this. Until next time, see you in the next one.
Seems so long ago, so much we didn't know. Painting colors in the dark, forgot about the crowds, our heads up in the clouds, running mazes through our